That was a great win. Beat a really good team, quad one team that'll compete for the Atlantic 10 championship. Hard to beat a good team twice, let alone 3 times in the last 4 years. Travis Ford's a great coach, and we just had a little. We had a little more. We had the best player on the floor tonight, Wendell Green. He was the best player on the floor at St. Louis, and he once again today. Is it any coincidence that Yuri Collins is one of the top 5 point guards in the country, recognized by everybody? Have something to do with it? It probably does. That's how that Wendell keeps score, and he's special. But I thought everybody contributed tonight. I thought there was a lot of real key contributions. Alan Flanagan with his defense and 10 rebounds, 9 defensiveness, toughness, athleticism. KD, getting to the rim, scoring through contact and being there late, when it mattered. Janai with 8 blocks, and he made some tough baskets in there. Obviously, he missed some shots around the basket. Those aren't easy shots. When he gets to finishing more, we'll be better. Jalen Williams, there were times when he was really, really a guy I could go to. And obviously, those guys played, 32 minutes, Jalen and Wendell, so probably pretty tired. That team's been averaging 84 points a game. They played Providence. They played Memphis. They played us. Played Maryland. They played a great schedule. But for us to hold that team down to 60 points gives, is very significant.
All right, questions from the bias?
TheBiasWithMyL.com. Bruce, what did it mean to see Wendell bounce back from his shooting perspective, considering how he shot against Northwestern?
It was great. Wendell's got great confidence. Wendell's got great poise. He's got great preparation. Wendell's been playing at high levels his whole life, with the exception of the 1 year at Eastern Kentucky. He's been at the highest level of basketball. In high school, La Muir, Detroit Country Day, AAU ball with his father. So he's not afraid of the moment. He relishes the moment. He takes advantage of the moment. And he knows his coach believes in him.
Bruce, just, what's going through your mind as you see KD set up to make that heave to Allen on that transition dunk?
Just KD is a special athlete. He really is. And I want him on the floor when it matters. And, he's going to get the 50-50 ball when it matters. He's going to make plays. He's an incredible competitor. Need a stop, he'll get it. Need a rebound, he'll get it. Need a 50-50, need it. And need a tough basket. He can get it. So those plays defensively to give us some offense. And the fact that we just didn't give St. Louis any second chance points down the stretch, I think was very significant.
Ryan?
Bruce, you mentioned that stretch where they couldn't score down the stretch. What was the difference between earlier in the half and then shutting them down?
Just guys making plays, that's all. We wanted bodies on bodies. And there were times when we doubled Yuri and then the rims so that would be an example of you can't do that. Even if you get a bad matchup. And we had our point guards down there front and their center. But our bigs, Dylan and Janai, could stay between their man and the basket. That's very encouraging too for me to see both Dylan and Janai able to switch off on an attacking guard like that. Trust me, Yuri Collins or other great point guard would rather be guarded by somebody their own size than somebody that size that can stay with them, stay in front of them.
Bruce, that closing lineup you're in with Al and Katie on the floor with the others, just how important was it for those guys to be out there because they have so much experience in closing those games out?
I called timeout with about 5 to go just to give those guys some rest because I knew I wanted to close with them. And so, it wasn't anything strategic. In fact, St. Louis benefited from it too, but I didn't care. I wanted to call that timeout and and I never do that. but I just knew I was not gonna sub that group out. And they closed well.
Tom?
Bruce,
And it was suggested by Stephen. Stephen made that suggestion, and it was a good call. I think Burgo helped me call a really good offensive game, and I thought that Ira did a great job with the substitutions and rotations, and Wes and Chad had a scout. And they did a great job of scout. It was a real team effort.
Bruce, you mentioned Janai's ability to switch onto a guard. I think the closing possession of the first half, we saw him looking over to the bench and making sure he had the defensive assignment right. What does it say about him as a defender to kind of be able to make that switch in a key situation like that and get that?
All bigs love that. All bigs want to get on that guard because they're tired of getting banged in there. But Wendell and KD and Zepp, you know, those are the guys that got, you know, put onto Okoro or those bigs. And I mean, they took a physical beating down there. But all three of those kids, KD, Wendell, and Zepp, were all tough.
Tobias?
Bruce, what does it say just again? I know you talk about the depth a lot, but it seemed to really show in those last few minutes as they started fatigue there. How do you keep that going throughout the year?
You know, in the last 5 minutes of the game, St. Louis had all the advantages in the sense that that's an experienced team. That group's closed out games all last year. Now they do have a couple new pieces, they do, that they're trying to blend in. But Janai's never closed out a game for me in a tight game by the Northwestern. Jalen was playing behind Jabari last year. He didn't close out a game. The three guards did, Al and Wendell, and a healthy Al. And you can see what a healthy Al does to us athletically. All of a sudden, you know, we put another elite athlete out there on the floor, and that was a separator. I thought some of our guys' size, physicality. I want to give Damon Davis some credit, my strength coach. That was our 5th game in 12 days. We had a red eye back Wednesday night, Thursday morning. We had a hard practice Friday, and I didn't do anything with them Saturday except talk to them because I needed their legs fresh. And that was one that we could look. There's a lot of reasons why I could have lost that game. Their experience, 5 games in 12 days. You know, they're a good team, but we found a way, and that's encouraging.
Final question, Kirk?
Bruce, you guys had a hard time, you know, a lot of that second half scoring, but then down the stretch, attacking the basket, getting buckets from a variety of guys. Just kind of what was the key to getting them going?
Well, I think Katie maybe was the key, starting it, getting us down here with a tough 2. Then we got a few things in transition. Yes, we definitely settled for some shots. We had some bad possessions in there, but look, give the defense credit. That's what good defenses does to you. I didn't draw up a play to have Dylan drive the ball to the basket with a one-hand floater from 8 feet. That was not something we worked on.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.